Yo, what's up? This is T. Welcome back to my channel, Coach T's Hard Knock School of Business, where business knowledge meets street knowledge. That's right, baby, where business knowledge meets street knowledge. If you haven't done it already, you know what to do. That's right, if you haven't done it already, you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. That's right, like this video, subscribe to this channel. Listen, we started our video on social media marketing, and we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to keep this thing going on social media marketing. And the last time we talked emails. We talked emails. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the email video or watch the email video, go out there and watch the email video. If you're trying to market your business, if you're trying to grow your business, you need to go back out there. You need to watch that video on email marketing. Listen, but here's the deal, baby. Today we're talking Twitter. That's right, I said something then. I said something. I'm going to say it again. We're talking Twitter. We're talking about Twitter. So everybody that heard about Twitter, I mean, it's no secret now. It's no secret. Everybody's heard about Twitter. Twitter is not easy, player. I'm telling you right now, marketing on Twitter is not easy. But here is the deal. It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming. It's not easy and it's not hard. It's just a little time consuming. So if you got a little time to put into this thing and get your elbows put a little elbow grease on and really get into this thing, you could really pop your business off using Twitter. Listen, you say, Tarai, I'm not from the Twitter generation. I'm not from the Twitter generation. Well, my question is your business in the Twitter generation? Because if your business is in the Twitter generation, you need to be utilizing some Twitter. Now, let me back up. So here's the deal. One thing I will tell you when it comes to social media, I don't recommend that you go out and try to utilize every social media platform. I don't recommend that you go out and you try to utilize every social media platform. What I do recommend is that you pick at least two. Pick at least two platforms and utilize those platforms. But you need to be knowledgeable of the other platforms. If Twitter is a platform that if Twitter is one of the two platforms you're gonna use, you need to go gung-ho with Twitter and your other platform. If Twitter is not going to be one of the platforms you use, that's okay. But you still need a Twitter account and you still need to have a Twitter presence. The one thing that throws me off every now and then is when I talk to some of my clients and they tell me, they say, hey, I'm using X platform and Y platform, but I'm not using Z. I get it. Don't use Z. And right now we're going to say Twitter could be your Z platform. And if Twitter is your Z platform, I'm okay with you not going balls to the wall with Twitter. But what I will say is you do need to have a Twitter presence. Okay. Now, what I mean by Twitter presence, you need to tweet. You need to tweet, if not every day, you at least need to tweet once a week. Have a presence. Because there are some people out there that may be trying to find your service or utilize your service, and they may not, and your Z platform, which is Twitter, it may be their A platform. And they may send you a direct message. And listen, the one thing about Twitter is Twitter is a form of two-way communication. Somebody can tweet you right now and they're going to expect a tweet back. Now, they know that you may not be on right now, but sooner or later they're going to be coming back to their account trying to see if you responded. Because the one thing that Twitter is a two-way communication. Unlike the other platforms, Twitter is active. It's active and it's always being engaged. It's active and it's always being engaged. Okay, that's why it's kind of tough to be on Twitter, because Twitter is pretty active, it's pretty engaging, and those that are on Twitter, I mean, they're in there, they're looking for that next little bit of information. So the one thing I'm going to encourage you is if Twitter is not one of your A or B platforms, if it's your Z platform, that's okay, but you still need to have an account, and you still need to have an account, and you need to somewhat be engaged. If not every day, every week. Tweet something every week. Check and see if anyone has tweeted you within the last week, and respond every week. Okay, but you do need to be active and you do need to be engaging at least once a week. Who can't do that? Who doesn't have time once a week? Okay, hire your kids to do it. Let your kids do it once a week. And they get a question they don't really understand. They can come back and say, "Mommy, I don't. Lady named Cindy sent you a tweet. They tweeted you, but I don't know what you want me to say." Hey, at that point, you're good. Then you can go in and you can respond. Or you can tell the kids, "Hey, let me respond to let me reply to tweets, but I need you to tweet this every day. Or I need you to create tweets every day." Listen, you need to be active and engaged on Twitter. If not every day, at least once a week, and it can just be your Z platform. But Twitter is very, very important to social media these days. So you just can't just overlook it. Now, when you say being engaged, what exactly does being engaged mean when it comes to Twitter? Okay, with Twitter, you got a certain number of characters, 140, 160, I think it's 140 characters you can use, so you got to be real savvy in what you're going to say. But it's like a news clip. It's like a news reel. You're just putting information out. You're putting information out real quick. Boom, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm doing. This is where I am. This is mentally where I am. Okay, this is what the business is doing. Okay. And you're just real quick, just putting the information out. I mean, Twitter is a mean of getting the news out about your business right now. Boom, 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 boom. Get the information out. Okay. And again, when it comes to being two-way communication, someone may reply and say, "Hey, in response to." And of course, then you need to reply back to what they said, because at that point you're going to build up your following. People are going to see that you're active and you're engaged, and they're going to start following you back, and more people are going to follow you because of that conversation, that interaction. Remember, this is social. This is a social media platform, and this is probably the most social media platform that's out there because it's the most social. Okay. It's stuff that's going on all the time. But the one thing about it, when it comes to Twitter, you're able to get your information out there. You can get your information out there quick, and people can share it, and they can retweet it, and they can respond to you, and you can respond back, and it keeps everything going. And it's like you being open 24 hours a day. That's pretty much what it looks like. Now you say, well, what should I include in my news clips? What should I include in my tweets? Twitter is simple, man. With Twitter you can tweet videos, you can tweet photos, you can tweet links, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And people can comment on those links, or they can comment on those videos and those photos, and just the key to really growing your following and really understanding what your base is really looking for is you being socially active and really replying back and retweeting. And when you see something that interests you or interests your business, you retweet it. Now, I mean, Twitter is a very social platform. When we say social media, it's probably the most social platform since MySpace. Now, some of you guys out there probably like, MySpace. What is MySpace? I mean, if you know what MySpace is. I mean, MySpace got a lot of cats in trouble back in the day. Yeah, my MySpace was real. You understand? I'm gonna leave that MySpace alone. But Twitter, you've got to stay social. You got to stay socially active and socially engaged when it comes to having a Twitter account. But what I'm gonna tell you is, you need, as a business owner, as a small business owner, as a big business owner, whatever kind of business owner you are, you need to have a Twitter account. And it doesn't need to be something that you overlook. You need to be actually and socially active in it. And if you're saying, "Hey, I don't have the time to do it once a day," you pick 1 hour during the weekend or 1 hour every 7 days, and you say, "This is going to be the time that I'm going to reply back to Twitter, or I'm going to retweet." Now, there are ways that you can tweet, that you can schedule tweets to go out if you really want information on how to really manage a Twitter account and tweet and retweet and share and all that kind of stuff. I mean, just hit me up. Just hit me up on my website, TerodRobinson.com. TerodRobinson.com. Hit me up on my website. Schedule a 30-minute consult, and we can really get this thing set up so that you can be able to manage your Twitter and not necessarily spend a whole lot of time, and you can be active and engaged without being overly active and under engaged, and not necessarily paying attention to those that follow you, because then they're going to stop following you. So anyway, I'm telling you, this Twitter thing is real, man. This Twitter thing is real. I mean, with Twitter, I mean, just like we talked about email, you can create Twitter list. Okay, you can create Twitter list of the things. You create a list of the things that you're interested in, or you create a list of the people that you're interested in following. You can follow these people, and really, you can do it without them even knowing you're following them, right? So that it's not like you're just stalking people. You can just stay up on what they're doing and what they're saying without them even knowing that you're following them. I mean, it's crazy, right? But you've gotta go in, create the account, and really understand. Now, here's the thing, man. I'm not getting paid from Twitter to even talk about Twitter. I'm doing this as a courtesy of people out there that want to start small businesses, or even have small businesses, and or even have big businesses, and not necessarily know that they really need to be using Twitter, and the reasons why they need to be using Twitter. Some people don't use Twitter because they just don't know. Yo, I really need to be using Twitter. Yo, Twitter is huge, man. I mean, you count the number of people. I don't even know how many people are on Twitter right now, but I mean, yo, it's a lot of people and it's a lot of engagement. So you don't want to just miss out on that engagement. You don't want to miss out on that engagement. If you have Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, and somebody may have an issue, and they may not be able to get in contact with you, and they may put it on Twitter like, hey, boom, 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 I got a problem with XYZ hat manufacturing company, but I can't hear anything back from them. Hashtag XYZ, and when you see that hashtag XYZ, it's gonna come back to you, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I didn't even know you had a problem. So you can reply back to them right back on that right back on that on your Twitter, and then you guys got an open dialogue, an open conversation, and a misunderstanding is truly a misunderstanding. Then all of a sudden, oh, well, I didn't know that you didn't, and you say, hey, well, yes, just send it back, and everything can be resolved right there on Twitter, right? I mean, that's real. It's a two-way communication. I mean, it really is kind of like your customer service department. So, I mean, again, at least set the account up. At least set the account up and be active at least every 7 days. I mean, that's 4 times a month that you have to actually be engaged on Twitter. I mean, it can't be that bad. You can't have that much to do, right? And it gives you the exposure. Like I say, it's a lot of people on Twitter. A lot of people on Twitter. If nothing else, it's the exposure of your business. You say you got a new business. Typically a person will go to your website and see, if you're really a legitimate business. But I mean, there are people that go see if you're on Twitter. Are they on Twitter? I was looking at a TV show the other day, and they was talking about the guy that was on the TV show. It was who was it? Kenya Barris on hashtag Black AF. Right now, it's not a plug for hashtag Black AF because I don't get paid for it. I mean, I just like the TV show. Actually, I went back and checked. I watched it the first time, rolled out the bed laughing, and I just started on watching it again because I don't think it was a season 2. So I'm just waiting on season 2 to come out. So Miss Kenya, if you out there and you got a season 2, let me know, bro. But anyway, the first thing I did was I didn't go to his website. I went to his Twitter. And who is he on Twitter? Then I found out more about him on Twitter, right? So I'm telling you, you really want to have a Twitter account. You do. You really want to have a Twitter account. That brand loyalty, that increased exposure. I mean, it's free. Yes, I said that it's free. That brand loyalty, that exposure is free. So at least set the account up. I mean, you can reward your customers. Hey, do X, Y, and Z and you get a free shirt. Do X, Y, and Z, you get a free cap. Do X, Y, and Z, you get 10% off. I mean, if they participate, they participate. If they don't participate, they don't participate. But just imagine if they do. That's just that much more exposure you have, that much more brand loyalty you're going to get. And then they're going to start sharing your information. I'm telling you, it is huge. Man, listen, not to go too deep into this, but one other thing that people don't really realize with Twitter is the hashtags. When you market your business on Twitter, make sure you hashtag something. I mean, listen, hashtags are super, super important on Twitter. Hashtag your business. Listen, if you really want to go more into how you can really get the maximum brand exposure and customer loyalty and that type of stuff from Twitter, just hit me up on my website, TerrodRobinson.com, and I'll be willing to share that information with you. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already, go to Amazon.com and check out my book, The Best Idea I Ever Had. Right now, I'm telling you right now, it's the best business book out there. It's the best entrepreneurial book that's out. Anyway, thank you for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you win again next week.